your microphone.
Hello, Mavs fans, friends. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined by Josh Bowe. Long time no see, Josh. How you doing?
I know. No, cold. Not as cold. Cold.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening. I looked at the calendar today, and on January 15th, my youngest child threw up on the way home from school. So he made it through the day. It's a Thursday. Since then, both of my children have been in school a combined 1 day. So we're all mad here, a little bit losing it. Thank you for holding down the fort for me for a couple of days because I was also sick. Like it was
Your whole family is sick.
Just a rough, it's so great. It's the funny part about the New Year's where it's like, oh, we're going to start doing this, new habits, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 weeks into the year, just a kidney punch by whatever daycare illness, followed by the snow, whatever ice apocalypse we're living in now. It is Wednesday night. The Mavericks had an odd 3 days off because the Sunday game for the Mavericks was postponed probably until February 19th, which means they're actually returning from All-Star break like a day early. Something we're going to have to keep in mind over at Mavs Moneyball. So 3 days off after they lost the Lakers, and they played the Timberwolves tonight and lost 118-105. Cooper Flagg did not suit up. I think that was probably we're getting eerily close to like is there institutional tanking occurring? I saw no issue with his ankle against the Lakers. I'll tell you that much. He looked fantastic. But that is what it is. But when Cooper Flagg doesn't play, and when Klay Thompson doesn't play, this Maverick offense becomes very, very grindy. Yeah. What do you think about tonight's game, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, our kind of shared take was like if you took Klay off the Mavericks, that would kind of start the tank in earnest. And you look at this game because of how important he is to like them having any semblance of modern space. Like even with Klay, they're not a good 3-point shooting team.
That's right.
And
we have two of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and they're a bottom 5 3-point shooting team.
So imagine when you take one of them away, and then Max Christie might as well have not played because he was
0 for 5 from 3.
I mean, they were 3 of 18 from 3. The 3 makes is abhorrent. The 18 attempts is also like what? Yeah, I mean they scored 60 points in the paint, but it didn't really matter. Yeah, I mean this was an awful game.
I really didn't like it. This
was
third or fourth time this year where I've really been like, okay, this game doesn't even hold my interest.
I mean, the Mavericks shot 39 free throws and the Wolves shot 27. I mean, it was ugly. It was stop. It was start. It was stop. It was start. There was no flow. It didn't help that the Wolves for like 75% of this game looked completely disinterested in playing it. And then the Mavericks couldn't do anything about it because they're just bad. So it was like an older brother playing pickup in the hoops with their younger kid and not taking it seriously. But the Mavericks, the younger brother is still not going to win because, it's not, they're like 2 feet tall or whatever. Like it was just, it made for a maddening like entertainment from the entertainment aspect of it. It was just maddening to watch.
And so you talked about this with frenemy of the show on the Twitter, maybe within the last 5 or 6 days. I can't remember it, but I just don't understand how the Mavericks play hard is not a big part of the scouting report on them because every team is caught unaware. And I don't think you're a regular Bill Simmons listener. He had on Tim Legler in his most recent show. And Legler talked about how the night in, night out basketball quality around the NBA is really bad. Like that's what they were talking about.
Yes.
And he said, Legler said, like the easiest way to win a lot of nights is just playing hard. And the Mavericks are probably, they won 4 in a row and nearly beat the Lakers to make it 5 in a row, almost entirely on the backs of playing hard. And I just don't understand. Like the Wolves had lost 5 of 6 coming into this game against the Mavericks. And yes, they won, but they are a significantly better team than the Mavericks and did not play like it. This was a pretty piss poor performance from them, even though, they scored 118 points. Like I just, granted, good teams have those nights, but they're not good enough. And I just don't understand this with what we're seeing from some of these teams in the NBA lately, where it's like the Mavericks they're not a bottom 5 team, but they're definitely a bottom 10 team. And this is just surprising to every team we play against. It's very silly.
I mean, this version of the Mavericks without Kyrie Irving, but full health. So Anthony Davis, Washington, Gafford. We've seen that team play, not a lot, but enough. Like that's they were about, let's just say with Anthony Davis, because he's their best player. With Anthony Davis, they're legitimate. They're a 500 team.
Yes.
So already
Literally.
that's not bad, but that's not great.
Yeah.
So without him, without a lot of other pieces, no Cooper, no Clay, you've got PJ and Gafford kind of working their way back through their injury morass. Although, Gafford perked up a little bit tonight. PJ was bad for 3 quarters and then good in the 4th. Like, so without those guys, there were, a 500 team missing, 3 of their best 5 players. Presuming like this isn't a Kyrie comment. It's just like Kyrie doesn't exist this season. Like, just imagine he's not there because he's just hurt. They should be up by more than 2 in the first quarter. When the Mavericks had 8 turnovers in the first quarter, the Mavericks had 3 turnovers in the first 90 seconds of the game, and they had the lead 4 minutes into the game. And I'm just like, what? And it's like, it kind of breaks my heart because the Mavericks are playing hard. They're just bad. They're just bad. They're just throwing the ball away. Like they're still chasing down loose balls. They're still going second effort on their offensive glass was pretty absurd. Like they kicked the Wolves' ass on the glass tonight. I don't know.
Which is shocking.
Final. Yes. A team with Rudy Gobert getting their ass kicked on the glass. Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle, who are not bad. I know Randle's not an incredible rebounder, but still. And Naz Reid, like the Wolves are a big athletic team, and the Mavericks out rebounded them 50-42. They had 14 offensive rebounds. And it wasn't because the Mavericks, and again, the offensive rebounds, they weren't because the Mavericks were shooting and missing a lot. The Mavericks only shot 18 threes. Now they missed 15 of them, but like there weren't a lot of long rebounds. Like it was just like Dwight Powell out efforting the Wolves front court a lot of the times. I'm just like, wait, what? Or Gafford had a couple offensive rebounds where he just flat out outworked the Wolves front court. So yeah, like that, I don't know if teams see the record that Dallas has and just thinks that they can walk in and just kind of win with like a B- C+ effort. But the Mavericks don't, they play harder than that. And we say all that and they lost by 13. They were down double digits for most of the second half. Playing hard only gets you so much.
Yep.
They can't shoot. They can't hold on to the ball. They don't have a point guard. Like they don't have a real point guard. And it just keep coming back to that. They play hard. They get out in transition. Cooper Flagg's awesome. When AD's on the floor, they play some good defense. But like it's hard to win in 2026 in the NBA without like a legitimate stabilizing force at point guard.
Yep. And Nembhard is
the magic dust is worn off.
He played 10 minutes. He had 6 points. He did not play a bad game. He had 2 turnovers. I don't know about you, man, but I can't shake the feeling that there's some institutional tankery going on here. I know we're going to talk about that Lakers game a little bit in the second half of the show, but like the Mavericks going small in the last 8 minutes against the Lakers was like, oh, we don't want to win this one. And Nembhard does make the offense better. And if they're trying to lose on purpose, maybe play Nembhard a little more. Like the Brandon Williams experience for me is a limited time. It's like a sale, and he's quite functional. I'm not implying he's bad, but he just has one thing he does, And the Wolves are the kind of team where it's like, how did he even do tonight? Did he have a good game? He could have had a great game, and I'm talking out of my ass here.
He had moments. I mean, he had like 8 free throw attempts.
Yeah, he really forced the effort at the line. That's what he was doing.
The Wolves couldn't keep him in front of him because the Wolves don't really have. They've got a lot of big forwards and Anthony Edwards, but they don't have. They also are struggling with their guard rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Their guards can at least make shots and stuff, but like. Mike Conley's coming off the bench, and DiVincenzo and Edwards are good, but they're more like off ball guards, off guards. And Williams was taking all those guys to the rack.
Yep.
Whoever was guarding him. Now he still was 4 of 10 from the field, but he got to the line 12 times.
Right, and that's his role. I think is the way to phrase it. Where it's just, and then when you got Flagg out, you got Klay out. The playmaking abilities of the rest of the guys in the offense are just pretty bleak. I mean, the starting lineup was hilarious. Caleb Martin starts again. He led the team in assists with 5. His stat lines are a riot. Like he's a -12, 4 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Then you got Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, Max Christie. Like there's not a playmaker among those 5. There's just
Najee's the closest you'll get.
The closest, and actually, Najee's a playmaker. I'm sorry there, but it's just
you don't want him to be your lead playmaker,
right? We've seen Najee Marshall point guard, and Najee Marshall secondary ball creator is his best role. Like that's maybe the Mavericks will get. I really hope. I don't know. I hope the Mavericks are able to secure assets for the players who are worth it. We're about a week out from the trade deadline, and we're like barely talking about it just because there's no Mavericks chatter, which I think is either very good or very bad.
And there won't be after the Giannis stuff.
That's right.
Like
that's right. That's kind of the thing
fly under the radar.
Yeah, that's kind of thing that's holding everything up probably. But it's just Najee, he's out there and he's doing his part, and I'm grateful for the role that he plays in the offense because I think like he really does work well within the groups that they throw out there. But heck, he only had 1 assist tonight. It's 22 assists and 38 made field goals. The Mavericks are just kind of a mess from top to bottom on offense. And that's the way they are structured.
It's very funny that they shot 45% from the field overall and 17% from 3.
Mm-hmm,
so what did they shoot? I can't do the math, but they must have shot like almost 60% from 2. But again, 3 is worth more than 2. The Wolves made 12 threes. These are the kind of games we talked about in the preseason in the summer, where we were like, guys, like they're going to have games where you're like, what? And it's like, because if you can't make threes, there are going to be games where you could do everything right, but you lose if you can't make threes. And now they didn't do everything right because they didn't guard.
But they hung around a lot more than they should have.
Right, because because they can score in the paint, they drive really well. But if you can't shoot, you can't close the gap.
Just a quick thought, because I think this is a good comment from Mav 41 fan. Keep Najee because he's a bargain. Trade Gafford, Klay, and PJ for sure. The reason I don't think you keep Najee, and I just want to put this out there, is the Mavericks aren't going to pay Najee what he's due when he gets that, because he makes $9 million a year now. Again, like on the open market, he might make double that, and the Mavericks in the state that they're in are not paying double that because they can't afford it.
Yeah, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2020.
I mean, they could keep him. Like that's not what I mean. They could afford it, but it makes no sense for them to try to afford it. Like that. That's all. And
he'll be 30 by the time he gets his next contract.
Yes. Yeah. So
you can't keep signing a bunch of 30-year-olds to extensions when you have 19-year-old Cooper Flagg.
Right. Anyway, it's like they're good players. The Mavericks
are great players.
The Mavericks have interesting assets in interesting situations, and it's Josh and I aren't exactly trade experts, which is part of why we don't talk about these things more. But that's just sort of the way it was. Is there anything else from that game that were worth talking about?
Julius Randle. I love that he just balls out every time he's in Dallas. It's good for him. Like it's his hometown. Like he should. But yeah, another game where I come away not impressed with the opponent the Mavericks played, which I feel like has been every game. And that's led to me having conversations with friends where I'm like, man, I feel like there's not a lot of good teams in the NBA this year. And it's like, is that actually true? Or is it because I'm a Mavericks media person and I just watch the Mavericks play these teams and the Mavericks are a non-playoff team making games competitive against teams that should be blowing them off the court? And I think that might be my bias.
No, that's part of it. I mean, I'm looking at the Eastern Conference. I like the Pistons, but also think that they're very 2022 Dallas Mavericks-y.
Paper Tiger.
Yeah, not paper tiger, but it's like if one thing goes wrong for them, they're not going to be able to fix it in the playoffs. Maybe more 2007 Dallas Mavericks-y, if that makes any sense, where it's like once Dirk got blitzed from the weak side, it's like if Cade Cunningham isn't carrying them, then they have a hard time scoring. That's just, and then I look at the rest.
They should be calling the Mavericks every day for Klay.
For sure.
Every day.
I mean, and I like some of these other teams in the East, but they're not super impressive to me. I mean, what Boston has done is interesting, but it also really speaks to how weak that conference is. The
Mavericks just beat the Knicks by a billion points.
Now you go out west. I have a great appreciation for the Thunder. We're going to see the Spurs twice in the coming weeks, so we'll develop an appreciation for them. The Nuggets, I think this Jokic being out thing has actually probably helped them more than it hurt them in terms of what they're building towards. And then after that, there's just a clear fall off. I mean, Steven Adams is out for the season for the Rockets. They don't frighten me. They just don't. Maybe something will change. And then, you go down the list. I appreciate, like, I wouldn't want to see the Lakers in the series, but I also would want to see the Lakers in the series. I don't want to play Luka, but it's also like
I kind of want to play everyone else on that team,
right? And if you play, but honestly, if you get one up on the Lakers, like they might go down, like they might fold like a house of cards. Like they're just that team is just yeah. And then the rest of it we kind of know. I mean, the Clippers are probably the only really interesting dark horse team. I mean, did you see how like they're on like a 15-3 run right now, and one of their bloggers who jokingly tweeted that he'd eat his tweet now has to do that. So
that's hilarious. I think he already did it.
Good for him. Good guy. I love living up stuff like that. But yeah, why don't we say we take a quick break here then?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. If you know how to support the show, tell your friends. Josh and I are trying. We're a bit in the doldrums right now. We'll get through it. Trade deadline will help. You can also listen to the ads, which I'll be inserting here shortly, and there are links directly within the show notes. Josh and I will be right back. Okay, thank you so much for waiting. I will host a Mavs party if there's interest. There's not a lot of folks in the show right now, which is fine. Like that, you guys got choices. Everybody in the Dallas area is dealing with being home from work and school due to the snow. It's not like I expected a lot of people in here on a Wednesday in January, but I will host a show if there's interest. But anybody else listening, you can tune into this to hear Josh and I. If you have takes you want to get off, hang around for the live show. We can talk about it. The Mavericks, of course, play tomorrow night, and so we'll be doing this all over again. And that's the honored Norm. How do you say Sanju? Norm Sanju.
Yep.
His former general manager. I love the history stuff like that. It's just interesting to me. And then they are also retiring Mark Aguirre's jersey tomorrow night, which I need to go dig up Brent's post about why that matters to him as an older Mavs fan, and why he thinks he wrote a really convincing argument for like why honoring a team's history is important. And one of the biggest mistakes Mark Cuban made, I think, was not paying enough attention to the Mavericks history due to kind of petty grievances.
Yeah, like what's going on? I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, but is Mark Cuban just like a big asshole? Like
I think there were probably some backdoor agreements where it's like, we're not going to do these things if you buy the team. And I think he wanted to appreciate those things. Maybe it is weird, but Mark is also very petty. Like, we just know this.
Well, even like the Norm guy, like what, like why? It's just weird. I get that. I know that the Mark thing is complicated, right? But it's just like I see like the Norm thing, like he's crying at midcourt and he's happy. I'm just like, why did it take him so long to do this? But again, I don't know the full story.
Well, then right, and then the things we see that we make fun of, where we were like, and I shouldn't have done this, but it still is funny to me, where it's like they retired the former Cap guy who they gave him a send off, and like we're all out here kind of pissed, not at him because it's not his fault that he held these positions, but it's like Cuban will put him in these positions that he like clearly wasn't qualified for in like the modern NBA. And it's like some of the stuff that Mark did just weird, like but the Aguirre thing, I understand that things aren't perfect, but like the team's first number 1 overall pick who had a good career and who is important to the Mavericks history. Like, that's what you honor. You honor a team's history. Do we need to have the 3 J's up in the rafters? No. Should they be a part of the Mavericks history in some way, shape, or form? Yes. Our country, frankly, sucks at this. History is history. You don't only have to pay attention to the happy parts. How a thing happens is as important as like the end result. And so this stuff just matters to me. I love learning about it. Like hearing, there was a really cool, Mike Palucci sent me the D Magazine article that Norm's son like PDF'd that because they didn't have any electronic copies of it. They had no copies of it from D Magazine about how the team came together in 1979 or whatever it is. Like that shit is awesome. That stuff could have been lost to time. I don't know. I'm ranting now.
No. That's I agree. I mean, what we just is the trophy case with all the stuff they took out the Luka stuff. They put it back in. Like
I want it back in. The story of the Mavericks is the story. Like for those of us who watch this and are in live shows and who have done this, who pay attention to the team day in and day out, seeing things get wiped away is as insulting to the fans as it is to the actual people involved. Because it means that what you watched didn't matter if you wipe it away as a team.
Yeah, so. I'm with you.
All right, what else are we going to talk about? I don't remember.
Hey, what were you doing at that Lakers game last weekend? I was watching TV and I saw someone that looked kind of like you in a suite.
Look, man, there are weird things that happen in these jobs. I'm sure you have stories that you've never shared just from your time covering the Mavericks when you used to do the beat, high school teams, etc. But this is just a top flight level weird experience. So the Mavericks played the Lakers on Saturday. Saturday was, I don't even remember the day.
It feels like 4 weeks ago.
Yes,
now.
that's part of the problem here.
Yeah.
So a week before the Friday night, I get a DM from an account that I don't recognize asking if I would like to go to the Lakers game as a guest of Luka Doncic. That was the message boiled down. That sounds like a scam. Okay. Then a Mavs 41 fan asks a really good question, which I'll get to that in a second. After some back and forth and confirming, turned out to be a legitimate account. It ended up being the manager of Luka Doncic. Her name's Laura Beth. Wonderfully nice lady.
She was Dirk's manager too.
Dirk's, or something. He
helped Dirk when Dirk was playing. Yeah.
And so what ended up being the case, and I didn't really it's one of these situations where I talked about it with you. Like we cover the Mavs. We make money off the Dallas Mavericks. It's not a lot. It certainly doesn't justify the amount of time we spend on this thing, but it is still money. We talked about kind of the ethics involved, just being upfront with everyone. Kevin Gray deleted it and blocked the number, right? It was a weird thing. It was very confusing. And then we agreed that I would go. They said we could bring a guest. And when
especially for Parker, that's why you had to go no matter what.
That was really it because I'm trying to think, telling the story out of order. Yeah. Most people know this, and anybody listening right now is like a hardcore fan of the show, so we value you. The day that Luka was traded, the day that I did the 4-hour telecast kind of by myself, the live show, was the same day I found out my father was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So that weekend, we talked to Parker about, he was 8 at the time. First, we had to talk to him about Grandpa, which was terrible, just awful. And that was, a 6-week process because my father died in March. And then the next day, we also had to talk to him about Luka, which was awful because I really certain things I can say. It's like cancer. You have no answers. It's awful. Why did Luka Doncic get traded? I really have no answers. Not to be morbid about it, but it's just it was so bleak. And he was very upset with my wife. My wife was kind of letting me have the day off parenting to a degree because I was up all night recording that show. It was tough. There's a lot to deal with all at once. And so a lot of my feelings are all mixed together there in a way that I probably need therapy.
Can't really separate that. That's tough. Yeah.
So we get this invitation, and I was like, oh, I really want to bring Parker. So week goes on. I don't tell him. He's 9. He has pretty rough ADHD. I figured if I had told him, that would become like the hyper focus of the week. And like, we needed him to get through school and like everything else. So Saturday, it's all disgusting weather. At about 5:00 rolls around. I tell him we're going. And he's like, going to what? He's like, the game. And apparently my wife had sort of let him know that it was an opportunity if he had behaved himself that day, which he was like alarmingly good all day. I should have known something was up. So we go drive down early, and he's like, why are we getting there so early? And I'm like, well, the person who gave us the tickets just asked that we get there early. And because I didn't pay for these tickets, we're doing what we're asked. And he was like, oh, okay. We stood out front of American Airlines Center in that like 18, 20 degree, like wet. It was like raining. It was awful for like 20 minutes, like totally dying. And I just looked at him and I was like, buddy, this is why we play an indoor sport. Like, just remember this. So we get inside. We go to the section where we were told to go, and he's all not paying attention. So when someone's like, are you here for the thing? I was like, oh yeah. So they let us go down to the seats because ushers normally block you.
You're going up like an elevator and stuff.
No,
right?
we went down to the tunnel. So like the players' entrance tunnel. And
you did that before. You did that before, right?
We sat in the first row.
I thought y'all were in a suite.
Well, so that's where we're waiting.
Tell your story. I'm interrupting.
We're waiting. So a Dallas Morning News guy, David Sanchez, comes up and talks to me briefly. He was trying to get some shoes signed. He wasn't working that night. Shout out, David. Thanks for listening. But then Kevin comes. A number of the women who run various Maverick-centric accounts, Lindsay, gosh, I can't remember everybody's names. Marie, like there's 3 or 4 of them all show up. They're behind me. There's a couple other people I know. There ended up being like 20
Mavs Film Room.
People. Yes. Yeah. Jay from Mavs Film Room, one of his friends. I like 3 or 4 people run that account. It was very embarrassing where Parker's like, how do you know these people? And I'm like, well, I know them from the internet. And that's an awful sentence to say out loud to anyone.
It's the
just
we're using our made up names.
Right. Spider-Man thing. So at this point, he still doesn't have any idea because there's just so much going on. He's not really paying attention. He's just looking at all the players. We can see Najee Marshall, yada, yada, et cetera. And finally they're like, all right, get up and come with us. And like, as we're like getting up to walk, and I was like, yeah, Parker, we're going to get to meet Luka. So we walk out the thing, walk down into the tunnel, walk back into the tunnel, and he's standing there. At this point, he says, I just want to thank everyone for their support the last year. This place, means a lot to me. And at that point, he's not a man of many words. They funnel us. Oh, like he walks by everyone, signs something if you want him to. He signed Parker's Lakers jersey that he was wearing. Why Parker has a Lakers jersey, we blame his mother for this. That was apparently a purchase the day after Luka was traded. And then he walked. It's like, okay, time for a picture. So he, meaning Luka Doncic, grabbed Parker by the shoulders and was like, he's going to be in the center. He was the only child there, which I didn't think was weird, but also thought was weird. I don't know. Nobody else had kids, so it's not like it's like Kevin has a young daughter, but it's like
it's 2026, Kirk. No one has kids.
Right. It's So I guess I was surprised he was the youngest child there. That's really the way to phrase it. Yeah. And so he takes a picture. Then afterwards, his trainer and his basically personal coach is like trying to kick everyone out to be like, all right, Luke has to go shoot. Everyone else kind of like one by one, like grabs different pictures with him, which like you can tell that in the various pictures where he's like, I can't be doing this, meaning Luka, which made me laugh in hindsight, but whatever. At that point, they take us all up to a suite where everyone, the other 2 women who worked with Laura Beth were like asking me questions like, so you really didn't tell him until just now? And I was like, no, like I didn't want to overwhelm him. Like that would be a weird thing. I mean, anybody that's followed me on social media for years has seen me like Parker's worn Luka jerseys since he was 2. Like they're like Luka, like
probably the reason he plays basketball, right?
Yeah, I certainly think so. Yeah, I mean he could say Luka Doncic better than most Americans when he was like 3 because he didn't have his palate formed crazy. Like Luka Doncic, really good with it.
Amazing.
And so we're walking up to the suite, just telling the story. we get in there, and he had a gift for everyone, and the gift for each person was a pair of Luka 5s, a colorway that wasn't out yet, which was really incredible.
That's awesome. And you're a sneakerhead, so
yeah. Well, yes, and really thrilled to not have to pay for Parker's next size up in basketball shoes.
Oh, did you put his next size up? Oh, you're so smart. That's the smartest. That's the smartest thing you've ever done.
I should have asked for 2 pairs in hindsight, like the next 2 or 3 sizes up. And then a Lakers sweatshirt in this kind of like a tan color that I would never wear, but looks fantastic.
I love that you have a Lakers sweatshirt.
Oh, not only that, now I actually own a fucking Lakers jersey because there were Lakers jerseys in each one, and everybody kind of got a different one. There were 3 colorways: the white one, this really cool black one, which if you get the black one, and I got the purple one. And classic. You know it's real because Parker had on his, and he's like, "Why do these feel differently?" And I was like, "Honestly, Parker, this is the cheap Fanatics one, and I didn't realize that." But we're neither here nor there.
Replica, yeah.
And so we watched the game, and so somebody asked a question, why were you guys on the phone when the suite was shown? So ESPN's Tim McMahon he is friendly with us. I wouldn't call him a friend. I don't bother him, but he is a
workplace associate.
Yes, nice for a person who deals with a lot of bullshit. Fairly nice person to us, considering the kind of crap that he gets. He found out that I was in this, and he texted me, and he's like, "What suite are you in?" Because he had been made the sideline reporter that night as like a last minute change due to weather. I don't think he had ever done that before. I
was wondering why he was a sideline. That makes sense because they're probably some guy could. They're
all sorts of stuff got screwed up, and so he's the sideline reporter, and he's like, "We can't find you guys. What suite is it?" I am literally texting with him as he is talking about us on television.
What timing?
Because I was basically being like, here, this is the suite number, which didn't actually help him. And I'm like trying to like geographically locate us. So I'm like typing all this stuff into my phone. To be fair, I'm on my phone a lot. I was also working something for the Offside app because I was in a chat room that night too, just trying to multitask. And all of us ended up being on our phones because there's the guy who runs the Luka Don Kicks account. Great guy, really nice guy. Jay and I, Mavs film room, and Kevin, like we're all just sitting there looking like schmucks on our phone as there's like a 40-second to a minute long on ABC. So all of a sudden my phone is like blowing up where I'm like, I didn't really know it had happened. I forgot the game was on ABC. I thought it was ESPN. Like it's just a different.
And that moment was also because you didn't publicize this a bunch. Mm-hmm. So I think that was what everyone was like, wait, what? What's he doing there?
Reasonably. I mean,
you didn't. No, you did the right thing.
Well, and there's been like a fair amount of, so we watch a game. Great game. Really was a great game. Lots of big swings. Lots of like getting to explain basketball stuff to Parker from a fun angle. Like we really watched the whole game.
I'm guessing those suites were like center.
No, they were on the corner. They were on the corner.
Oh, they're on the corner.
So it's like looking
but they're
at
middle.
Way.
So like you got a nice vantage point.
Great vantage point. You could see lots of stuff.
Yes.
And so he asks me if I can go get cotton candy because these suites are preposterous. They have all sorts of food, but of course they don't have cotton candy because why would they? And so he asks me to go find cotton candy, and I basically get stuck on a ground floor. A guy helps me get on one of the elevators, but the elevator goes down to the basement. When I get to the basement, they ask me to get off the elevator. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? Why do I need to get off? And the guy's like, can you please please get off? And I'm like, fine, whatever. You'll go on to the next one up. I get off. Who walks past me? 6 foot tall ass Meg the Stallion in some high platform shoes, looking just like a different race of human, just so gorgeous. And I was like, oh, okay. I got asked to get off an elevator by Meg the Stallion. That's fine. That's a great story. So I finally make my way back up to the suite, and I'm exchanging pictures with some people who took more pictures. Cause I'm like back there. I'm really, when we were with Luka, I did not have a chance to take any pictures cause it was like, bam, 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 bam. Somebody was sending me pictures. Somebody was showing me how to do airdrop because I'm 1,000 years old and don't know how to use airdrop. And all of a sudden I see all these, like some of the women in the suite were like, Parker, who had been up against the suite next, is all these women rolled over to his section, and you can see him trying to escape because they're trying to take pictures with Meg the Stallion, who was right next to us in the suite next to us. In and out with a couple of players. Derek Lively, saw a couple of other people I recognized. The second suite down from them on the other side was Cooper Flagg's family. Cooper Flagg's mother is the funniest person to watch a basketball game near. Like, she was lit. It looked like she had a laptop. It looked like she was taking notes, and she was living and dying with it because Cooper was not efficient that game. He was 7 of 20, and she was just like, come on, like really getting on his ass from the suite. It was hilarious. So then, yeah. So then, game ends. We go home. It was a great time. A great experience. Tried to explain to Parker. I was like, what we just had is not something you can pay for.
Right.
This was a
once in a
lifetime thing. And, he's related to me, and in a shock to no one, he always has something to say. And this was an event where he didn't really say much because he was just like,
yeah.
So good time.
Yeah. I want to know more about like Parker's reaction to this. Cause again, like Luka, from what you've told me, like he might be Luka might be the reason he's playing basketball. Like, was there did he say anything to Luka like when they got to meet and interact? Like, what was his?
I think he was so stunned.
He's just done. Okay.
He was very willing. He was so happy to be there. Luka looked like this was one of those games where Luka looked great. Like physically, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And so we're back there with him, and he's just all slit and fit and slim. And Parker's got his big old hands on Parker's shoulders. So I think he was probably as excited as I've seen him about anything. I mean, just to be perfectly honest with the audience, like he's the firstborn and he was the only grandchild of a certain age for a pretty wide gap on both sides. So to say he's spoiled might be an understatement. Mm-hmm. So certain things don't exactly move him in a way that would have moved me as the final child of a family. But he was totally into it. Like it was really neat.
No, you don't have to. I went to my mom's house to try to help dig her out of her ice driveway. And my mom had 3 boys. I have 2 brothers. My mom grew up she lost her mom at an early age, like when she was 9, and had an older brother. So she grew up with her dad and her older brother, then had 3 boys. So, I have a daughter, and that's going to probably be her only grandchild. I have an older brother that's not having kids. Obviously, he's like in his 40s. So that's like her daughter, that's
the one chance. Yeah.
That's her girl. So we came over today, and I'm helping. I go back inside, and Maddie's got Valentine's Day stuff in her hands. I'm like, why does she have it? She's like, I didn't have a surprise for her. This is all I had, so I gave it to her early. I was like, you could just not give her
anything.
She's like, that's not an option. I was like, you know what? I don't. It's okay. So I get the firstborn thing. It's okay. But that's all, like, no, go ahead.
And I want to note something. So it's like, I am a oversharer. My Twitter account is that way. I didn't really tweet much. I've not put up any Instagram videos. I've really sort of struggled is not the right word, but because the kids have been home, I've not really processed very much. And I mean, it's Saturday, Sunday, my kids haven't gone today. Like, I've just a lot going on here. Haven't really processed it super well. I want to eventually. I do want to note, because there was, this happens with the internet. I don't blame anybody for feeling this way. There was a lot of really shitty comments that I saw. I don't feel like, and I don't want to speak for anyone, but anyone that was in that suite, I would like to think nobody felt like they deserved that. Every single person there was so stunned that this happened, because who's even heard of anything like this from a guy who got traded? Everyone was so grateful and happy to be there. And I want to note that I really think that it was the people that were there were representative of the people who still love Luka in Dallas. It wasn't that Laura Beth went and selected her favorite 22 people. She selected 22 people. Some people were content creators, not going to make that up, but a lot weren't. And I don't really, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody that just tweets, but tweeting is not the same as making videos, as making articles. It's stream of consciousness. a lot of us should tweet. Maybe most of us should tweet less. Just a general piece of advice to the world coming from me, who has like 700,000 of them. But I don't think anybody felt like they deserved it. And anybody that really would have wanted to be there, I totally understand it. I was very close to turning it down for kind of ethical reasons until it became clear that I'd be able to bring my kid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
And I didn't speak to Luka. I don't really have any, like, I've never been one to really want to talk to athletes because I don't know what I would say. It's not that I can't relate. It's just, and I'm very grateful for Luka. I was very critical of him. I'm critical of everything.
You also willed him to the team. So
yeah. But a lot of people don't remember that because they weren't here. So
I know.
But it was a wild experience, and I'm glad I got to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad. That's awesome. Again, the thing with your son, that's the thing that I just keep coming back to. Like that's gonna make it count for a while. That's really cool that he did it. I think it's pretty cool that it was pretty under the radar. I mean,
he didn't. I don't think like if I had
no one really publicized it.
Have been on TV.
Yeah, and I mean, good on the people that we didn't know who he really invited. I think we knew Kevin maybe reached out to you because again,
Kevin reached out to me on Friday night. He was like, "Is this shit real, man?" Yeah.
But like, good on everyone that got reached out that didn't like, oh, look, I'm going. Like, I think everyone played it really, really well, which I think goes to say like how genuine it kind of felt. It seemed like it felt. I'm just outside looking.
Well, do you want to know something funny?
I do want to know something.
You'll like
funny.
this.
Okay.
Mavs film room, Jay. Jay was one of these guys who's followed us for 15 years. He's a younger guy. He's in his 20s. And we, as a result, when he started doing Mavs film room stuff, there have been times where I was incredibly mean to him. Borderline internet bullying. Because I'd be like, do something. And so I caught him saying something to that effect where he's like, yeah, to think if I hadn't done anything. And I just kind of chimed in over the popcorn. I was like, yeah, when I was a real asshole to you about all that stuff too. And I'm glad I was. Otherwise you wouldn't be.
You motherfucker.
I sat with him talking the whole night.
Yeah.
And that's been the funniest part. People that's why it's like we host a live show, for example, or I host a live show, the second one. Because I just want to talk to people. Like everybody gets so pissed at one another when they talk on the screens. And it's like, it's great. It's great just getting to talk to people as real human beings. More of that.
Yeah. So. And you haven't been to a game in a while, just in general, right? Home game, did you go earlier? I know sometimes you get friends.
No, I've not been since since maybe 2 years. This is a fun question. More on the ethical dilemma, bought and paid for commentary on Luka. I mean, I got death threats for suggesting correctly that he was fat. So I'm not really, there are a couple accounts out there that don't like, and I mean this, like you're allowed to fan however you want, but there are a fair number of accounts out there who view Luka criticism as Luka hatred. Like they can't understand the difference. So I don't really ever think I was in a position of doing anything. Like I loved Luka in spite of the things. It's never swept it aside. Like you should see me as a parent. I'm a difficult person. My poor child. So
no, you're not. No, not you. Well, yeah. We talked about that part. That's less like. I mean, that's stuff. I went to journalism. That's my like. Sometimes my 1950s like watching.
Well, if I went to games, if I was regularly talking to these guys, this wouldn't have happened for me.
Yeah, or you let Mary take Parker or something.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
I mean, it just would have been but for me, it's always been the case where I've been very clear about my bias and my intentions. Where like I love the Mavericks, so when people are like, Kirk, you don't love the Mavericks, you are a hater, and I'm like, you are 14 years old, get out of my face. I don't, it's just a different thing. In the media world now is weird. Like we have weird agents that have podcasts, for Christ's sakes. Like there's odd shit going on here. This is low level. So,
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that's awesome. How much food did Parker eat? I want to know that because you
Hated the
eat
chicken
food.
tenders, which was very funny to me.
He hated the chicken tenders.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's like,
no.
you know, and I was like, buddy, these are the best, like these are great. I was like, you are wrong. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you. The popcorn was outstanding. And I was like, I just kept eating it. And Jay at one point told me, he's like, I've heard that Steph Curry says this is the best like arena popcorn in the NBA.
Yeah, there's a story. He when he plays here, doesn't he like get like he gets like the big bag of it to take with him or something? I've heard like he's done that before.
It was good.
Yeah,
and
I fucking love popcorn. I would eat. That would be me. I would be.
Now I will tell you about the game ops. This is the last thing. Maybe we'll close that somehow. 45 minutes. There were a lot of pro people. Like this was not near as Luka pro crowd as the previous time. The game ops were also outlandishly loud, so you couldn't really tell who was cheering who, kind of situation. But it was such an intense game that it was unbelievably loud, the arena. So, you know, good times.
Yeah, good. Well, glad you enjoyed it. Feel like you probably needed that. Like this season sucks. Last season sucked. We've been pretty upfront that this hasn't been as fun as it usually is. Like doing this.
No, it's not been near as bleak as I would have expected. Like,
yeah, I know, because the games are not.
Yeah,
tonight's game was the exception. Like they're normally pretty. The games have been entertaining. Like I mean, even that
like I expect them to win tomorrow night. Like Mark Aguirre jersey, like there's going to be some juice in that building tomorrow.
I know, and Charlotte's playing well, so that it should be a fun game.
Yeah. Con versus Cooper. That's fun.
If Cooper plays, he should play. Yeah, maybe that's why they held him out tonight, save him for Cooper versus Con.
I think that's actually the case. Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, I know I said I would host a Pod Mavericks. We're 45 minutes in. There's nobody here. There is. I mean, we got you can see the numbers. There's not a lot of people in the live room. That's okay. We'll do this again tomorrow night, and I'll host one then, and I can talk about whatever anybody wants to talk to me about. Okay. Thank you for letting me talk. As much as I like to talk, I don't really like being. One of my things has been, it's like I was part of the story, but it's like I don't ever want to be part of the story. Like I want to talk about the story extensively, but I don't ever want to be the story. And unfortunately, I was kind of part of it and looking like a dork with my phone. The fun, we can end on this. My mom has no concept of what I do with this. And she was just like, why the fuck were you on television? It's great. Really great. Like, Mom, I'll talk to you about it later. I don't have a good answer for you. Everybody be good. Check out Mavs Moneyball. We've had some good stuff the last couple of days. Just a continued stream of good things from the team. And we'll be back tomorrow. Everybody be good. Go Mavs.